Welcome, friends. I want to talk about Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is a commonly used Microsoft Office application. It is a spreadsheet program which is used to save and analyze numerical data. So let me just take you around the environment. This environment we are seeing here is a worksheet environment. If I want to select everything, I'll click here. This is a cell. So all the boxes we are seeing here are cells. Down the intersection, this is uh, the intersection between the column and the rows will give you what we call a cell address. So this is a column, this is the row. So for example, this box here, this box has an address, and our address is C5. You can see it from here. This one is D4, this one is G4. So these are all cells, and the cells have cells addresses. So if you want to know the total number of columns that are in Excel, so the first thing is to click here, then on your keyboard press on the N button, then press on the down arrow. It takes you to the end. So you can see that in Microsoft Excel, we have a total of 1,048,576 columns. And if you want to see the number of rows, in an Excel application, you click on one of the row heading, then you also still press on the N button, then this time around you press on the right key. So the right arrow key takes you to the last one, which is XFD. That's how you get there. You can also press home and it takes you back home. So basically that's how you know the total number of rows and the total number of columns that you have in Excel. So let's start using Excel so that we can see how we can use all the formulas that it has. So we'll start by creating a simple accounting table. So serial number, items, unit price, quantity, amount. So I have 1, 2, 5 items. So here I have biro, eraser. Here I have pencil, book, and back. So we can change this to the quantity before the unit price. So the quantity here is 3, 4, 7, 8, and 2. So the unit price for biro is 500, eraser is 100, pencil is 100, and the book is 250 naira. Then the back is 4,000. So now how are we going to calculate the amount, and how do we find the total? So first of all, for us to get the amount here, we need to multiply this cell plus this cell. This cell address is C2, while this one is D2. So I'm going to use an Excel formula to put in the total amount here. So the first thing I'll do is to type equal to, then I'll press down my shift key, I'll select the first cell, then I'll type asterisk, which represents multiplication. Then I press down my shift key again and click on this second box, so we can see the name automatically appears there. So what I'm doing now is I want to multiply C2 times D2, and I'll press enter. So once I press enter, this cell has already been computerized to calculate these two, and the total number is 1,500. Now I can do the same thing here, or I could just tell it to repeat the same thing for the remaining cells here. How do I do that? I'll take my cursor to the last node here. See, it changes to what looks like a small cross. Then I'll press down and drag it down. So by doing that, I'm telling the system to repeat the same thing for the other ones. So the system has multiplied this to get this for me. Multiply this. So you can now see that all these cells are active cells that have been programmed to multiply whatever values is in the quantity and of course the unit price to return the value. So for example, you can see from here, when you click here, you see the formula that brought that out. You click here, if you click here, you see the formula that brought it out. You see the formula, click here, you see the formula, and you click here, and you see the formula. So that's how we got that. Then how do I get the total amount from here? So one way is I could do equal to, then I'll now add all this one after the other. So I'll press on my shift key and I'll type plus. I press on the shift key to click on the next box. I'll type plus. Same thing, I'll continue. So once I've done this, I want to sum up all this and the formula has appeared there. Then if I press enter, the system brings this out for me. But if I don't want to do it this way, what do? I just select the entire cell, then I'll move under the home menu. If you look far right, you see auto sum. So immediately you click on auto sum, the system will automatically sum that to bring this out for you. So this is another formula you can use, equal to sum E2 colon E6. So this is a range of cells which has been summed up to return this. So you can have Excel, then you can also have a range of cells, and the range of cells is designated as the first cell address colon the last cell address. That's how we got this. So that's how we've gotten our total value. So I could also further work on this table by putting borders around it. So the first thing I've done now is to select it, and after selecting it, I'll come down here. So this is borders. So I can tell it to just add all borders, and that has been done. So I can also differentiate the heading from the other ones by telling it to add bolder borders that are a bit bold. So let's look for it. So I've taken that, so you can see. So this box is now bold. Then of course I can differentiate it from these two. Then I can tell it to put it all around. So that's how we can get. Then of course, you can always expand this and reduce it the way you want it, so that your items will align properly. So you can see that my quantity is here, but the prices are on the right hand side. So I could select the whole of this and go to alignment and tell it either center align or left align or right align. I can choose all that to get whatever I'm looking for. So I'm picking right align and it's here. And because these are prices, so what do? I have to format it appropriately. So what I'll do is I'll select the whole of this, and I can come here and click on that. So what it does is that it puts the amount in the proper place with the right decimal numbers, and it's coming out neatly now. So you can see it's looking more like a professional table. So after getting this in Excel, what do I do next? I can now create a chart on this, to be able to analyze this data. Okay, how much did I spend? Which item did I spend the highest amount on? Instead of looking through to check it, I could turn it to a graph to see that. So I will select from items up to the amount. So depends on where you want to stop, you can stop, but I'm selecting all up to the amount. Then I will move down to insert chart. Then I'll click on columns. There are different types of charts you can use, either column or line or pie or bar or area. So I'm picking column, and on column I'm going to pick this. So we have different types of that. So I've just chosen this, and the system automatically creates the graph for me. So the graph has been created. So you can see that what I have on the table has now been turned to the pictorial form. So you see the different colors that differentiates the items, and you can see the amount. So it's a lot easier to look at this and quickly analyze and see what this is all about. That's why we said that Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program which is used to save and analyze numerical data. So this has been so from here I can say, I spent the highest amount on bags, and of course you can see from the diagram that's about 8,000 naira. So that's how it's done, and of course I can also see that the unit price was quite high and the quantity was just that small. So that's how you get your Excel document up. Then the next thing you want to do will be to save this document. So I could go through the normal way of saving. So we have save and save as. We use save as if this has not been saved before. So if I'm saving it for the first time, I will click on save as, then I can pick Excel 97 2003. So I will choose my location desktop, then I will call it Excel project. So I will save this. So in future, if I make changes to this document, let's assume that maybe I want to make it sentence cases. So I'll click on this. So now instead of saving again right from the beginning, I have to now press save. So you use save as if you're saving for the first time, and you use save if you have saved before. So I'll just go there and click on save. So my document is saved. Now I can also check where this document is. I'm closing it. So check here, you see Excel project, and and um, and you can see this can open, so anybody can view this whenever they open it. But if I want to protect it so that I will be the only one to see this, since it's an accounting item, I will go to start button, then I'll go down to prepare, where I have prepared, then I'll click on encrypt document. So the system is asking me to type a password here, so I'll type my password 12345, then I'll confirm it 12345. So this document has become password protected. Click save, then I'll close it. So I'll close this. So that's how it's done. Then anytime I click to open that document, I will be prompted to type a password before I access it. So I'll type the password, then I'll click OK before it opens. So one other thing you need to know is that when you exhaust the first worksheet, you can always move to the next worksheet, you can move to the third one, and you can keep adding depending on what you're doing. So you can add as many worksheets as possible, and you can easily move around between one worksheet and the other. And of course, you can change the name. For example, if I double click here, I'll call this my accounting data, and you can do the same for all the other ones. So that's a good introduction for Excel. Then you will see other programs. Thank you.